Great to see everybody here today. And today is Walk with the Doc, January 16, 2019. Okay, what I want to focus in on today, at least a little bit, are the new government guidelines for exercise, okay? Many of you have seen this. I've passed it out in the past. Bright red numbers, but a little confusing because it divides into different categories. There's even some on the back, but it's sort of an offshoot of this in the 2018 guidelines. And we're going to talk about that in good detail, but it's called Move Your Way. Okay, that's sort of the new slogan, to sort of be more inclusive, to involve more people to exercise as part of a lifestyle. And we'll go through that a little bit in detail too. Okay, here's what we're going to do. So we're going to talk about why do we exercise, what is the point of it, okay? To start off, we're going to talk about the Move Your Way program. And as I promised you last month, we're going to talk a little bit about cardio or aerobic activity versus resistance. Remember the example I gave about the husband and wife that goes to the gym and she's the aerobic and he's the resistance guy, and it's like, well, which one is going to get more benefit? Well, we'll talk about that too. I'll go through the recommendations of that, and then we'll have some indoor exercise with Amy, I think, is going to be our instructor today, I'm sorry. And then for those that want to, it's purely volunteer, we'll walk outside again today. It's about 36 or 37 degrees as I was driving in, so probably in the next hour might be 1 degree warmer. So those that want to exercise will go outside, okay? So I'm the guy that said not below 32, so... Okay, so why do we exercise? Just real quickly, anybody? Why do we exercise?
Increase our muscle.
Okay, help our muscles?
Keep healthy.
To keep healthy, right. Well, there's probably a gazillion reasons why, but clearly there are many, many studies over the decades that have shown that aerobic activity particularly, but certainly resistance activity, will help with cardiovascular health. That part is a no-brainer. It's been shown after many decades of studies. But if you look at the red part here, there are also many spin-offs to help with bone health, to help with maintenance of weight loss that you've done, say, through exercise or through dieting, cognitive function to sort of stave off dementia, also reduce risk of falling. As you exercise in many cases, you're helping build muscles to help you with balance. Very, very important. We don't want to have people falling, especially in their older ages. It also reduces the risk, if you will, okay, of certain cancers, diabetes, and also sleep apnea by getting the weight down, for instance. And let's not forget, it reduces the symptoms of peripheral arterial disease. That's circulatory problems in the legs, for instance. Okay, so many of you that have been on the headquarters, Walk with the Doc headquarters site, so that's walkwiththedoc.org. They have sort of a humorous list of 100 reasons why you should walk and exercise, the benefits of walking and exercise. So again, this is why we do the exercises that we do. Now, I'm preaching to the choir because many of you guys are regulars here, okay? So I know that you do something, you do get out. And as I've said before, I hope you do supplement during the week and the rest of the month with other activities, not just our once a month activity here. Okay, this is an interesting point. So how many people enjoyed their phys ed class when they were in high school? Okay, well, that would make sense because you guys are still here enjoying this. So there was a study they did. They took 1,000 adult online volunteers in an effort to figure out how to improve the current programs for our students in school. And they asked them, did you have a good experience in elementary and high school? And it turned out if you didn't have a good experience, you probably don't continue exercising and doing fun things now. But the inverse of that is, if you had a good time, you were maybe picked first for baseball or something like that, and you kept an active lifestyle, that's probably the reason why. You had a good early childhood when it came to exercise. So there's a soft association with those findings, but they're trying to always improve what we're teaching our kids in school when it comes to gym class. I'm sure it's not an easy project. Okay, again, these are the old guidelines, a little bit messy, but some of the numbers still ring true for our new guidelines that we're going to talk about. Okay, so we have our partial government shutdown. But they still put out some new guidelines, and I'll talk about them here. This is sort of their premier. This is on the website. Again, as I mentioned before, it's called Move Your Way. And it talks about 150 minutes a week of exercise, combining with a couple days of resistance activity. Okay? And again, the point is they want you to do something. All right? They're trying to be less specific about numbers and about activities, but just mix and match anything that you like to do. All right? So I don't recommend you read all 118 pages of the report, but it's based on really good data and good research. They break it down into layman's terms, and it gives you something to latch on to say, well, I can do that. That's one of my favorite exercises. I think I can really continue with this program. It's not something you're going to read and say, I can't do that, it's too confusing. I do recommend, though, that you look at the executive summary. It's 6 pages. It's on the website. If you don't have ability to print that out, we have a couple of copies out at our table over there. But it's something where you're going to learn what's best for you. And again, to distill it down to 2 simple ideas, something's better than nothing, and more is better than less. Okay, so again, this is our less here. This is our 1 day a month, and build from there, certainly. Again, put out by the Health and Human Services last year. What was interesting about it is they included new demographics. The previous guidelines were about adult activity. That doesn't apply to everybody, because if you're in your 20s versus your 80s, you're going to have different preferences, different things that you want to do. So they broke it down into 4 categories. They talked about different levels of exercise, and I'm going to go through that in a little bit of detail here. Okay, so here's how they broke it down. They have special guidelines for children, for adults, number 2, for older adults, number 3, and then number 4, sort of the pregnancy group. So pregnant women and postpartum women, okay? Again, different exercises for all 4 of those groups. Okay, I highlighted the middle part here. I want you to focus in on that for a second. This is the moderate level. So how many folks use a treadmill on a regular basis? Okay, I'm sure everybody knows what their speed is, right? Okay, all right, that's very important, okay. So a light walk is less than 2 miles per hour. That's something like household chores, just simple things around the house. But the moderate level, which is what they're recommending that we do, is between 2.5 to 4 miles per hour, such as doubles tennis. The classic line that we talk about is, you can talk while doing the exercise, but you can't sing. If you're like me, you can't sing anyways, so it really doesn't matter. The vigorous is when you're really running and jogging, and I don't mean to put on snow shoveling, because I know you know my views on that. I don't like snow shoveling for different reasons, but say digging in the garden would be another exercise. There you go. A fitness class where you're at the level where you can say a few words, but not a full sentence. Okay, so that's light, moderate, and vigorous. Okay? Okay, and they break it down in different groups of physical fitness. So cardiorespiratory fitness, that's what we all think of as, I'm going to go work out, I'm going to go exercise. And basically it's the ability to perform large muscle activity or whole body exercise at that moderate to vigorous level. Okay? So that's the things we think about. We say treadmill work, swimming, elliptical, things like that. Musculoskeletal fitness, as he was mentioning before, that's more like working out for your muscles. Nothing wrong with that. It's a type of resistance activity, but it doesn't necessarily equate to the cardiorespiratory fitness. Okay? People that like to lift, they want to be able to do activities that require strength. That's what that category talks about. Flexibility, sort of different type of exercise, be it martial arts, Tai Chi, yoga, very important component for your overall health fitness, but not the same as the first 2. And balance, many of you I think probably have been through some of the physical therapist balance classes. Okay, right? Unfortunately, yeah. So that increases your muscles to be able to remain in balance because of some maybe brain or central reasons or middle ear reasons for not having good balance. It helps you compensate for an internal problem. Okay, so again, 4 different types of physical fitness activities. And again, muscle workout, I mentioned before about bones. As you're walking, even simple exercise against gravity, not resistance work, but just even walking, can help build better bone health if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia. All right? And we talked about balance and flexibility. Okay. So, beautiful shot. This is foliage from up in New England back in October. It just makes your heart rate lower, doesn't it? Make you more relaxed. So even during the government shutdown, the national parks, unfortunately, many of them are closed, but the national park system has teamed up getting some more information. And the new term out there, this is a first for me, it's called forest bathing. Okay? Where you get out there in a beautiful scene like you just saw, and you get more relaxed. And they've done some data collecting where it reduces your risk of, say, increasing depression. It reduces anxiety. Also can reduce your blood pressure and your heart rate. All right, so we go to the gym, we come here for our groups, but think about going out for a walk in a park, at a lake. It has that extra benefit that I'm talking about here. They talked about studies from Australia where they've shown that people who do consistently walk out in the woods have better control of the blood pressure as well. Okay. All right. So resistance versus aerobic activity. So who favors aerobic activity as the primary focus? Okay. There's no right or wrong answer. How about resistance activity? Okay, yeah. So actually the answer is it's a combination of both, especially as you get older. Okay. Let's talk about the cardio part. Again, there's so much information over the decades that show that aerobic activity improves your cardiovascular health, no question. And besides that, helps reduce your risk factors. I mentioned some of them before, but lowering cholesterol, lowering blood pressure, extremely important. All right? And it can take the form of anything that you like, dancing, swimming. I know at the Y they offer all of these activities here, jogging, outdoor work. And again, our base website talks about 100 reasons why you want to exercise. But let's talk about resistance for a second. Just some background physiology on that. Lean muscle mass apparently is a good predictor of cardiovascular health. Even better than the BMI, which you're aware of. Body mass index, which is height divided by weight. So a person with a leaner muscle mass has better cardiovascular health going forward. They've also done studies with a little thing called a dynamometer, and they realized that the wrist grip strength is also an excellent predictor of your cardiovascular health, and that's a form of how strong you are. Okay, so muscles are very important. And muscles are the biggest utilizer of blood glucose. So 30% of all your calories burned are through your skeletal muscles. Okay, so we're building a case here. Muscles are important, muscles burn calories. The problem is, as we get older, our muscle mass goes down. And when you're above 50 years of age, you lose 2% of your lean muscle mass each year. All right? So you're losing muscle mass, strength, and you're burning less calories because you're smaller, you have less muscle to burn the calories. Therefore, resistance training is extremely important because you're building up those muscles and burning calories. So you're burning calories, but also losing, we call the TT fat, right? Toxic tummy fat, okay? And that's what it's called. I'm being very serious. So that is actually an organ. So getting a gut, for instance, is the fat outside the abdominal cavity, and also the fat inside abdominal cavity, which you really obviously can't see unless you have a CAT scan or you have surgery. That adipose tissue, that fat tissue, is a risk factor for cardiovascular health. So therefore, if you can reduce that by resistance training, you're making yourself healthier. Okay? So think about that. It's not always what you see on the outside, it's what's inside. And that fat goes around your bowels, around your aorta. It's actually considered an organ of the body. All right? Okay. So what are the recommendations? This is, again, part of the Move Your Way program. At least twice a week. That's similar to what you've all seen in the old guidelines as well. But ramp it up to maybe 3 to 5 times a week. And again, as I mentioned before, individualize it, okay? Pick something that you like to do. So say you're watching, after the news, you're watching The Wheel, all right? You're watching Wheel of Fortune, you're watching Jeopardy. Maybe get some kind of light weights and do some weights this way, or maybe even some movement side to side. You have your bands, which you'll take home with you today. Watch TV at night and use your bands. Okay? Going to the gym and lifting heavy weights is not for everybody. All right? Preferably you want to have a full range of motion. So it's not just simple things like this. It's where you can make a full range of motion this way or even side to side stretches like this, using multiple muscles. They call it compound muscle activity. So again, you go to the gym, you see folks doing a lot of these lunges and squats, and Angie mentioned burpees and all that. It's not always about those complex things. Build to that if you can, if your balance is good, if your flexibility is good. But it's not always about those things from the start. So start low and build up to those things. But those are compound muscle activities. Again, you'll be burning cavities. And when you get a chance, rest the muscles you've just used. Say on a Monday you're doing some resistance work with the band, it's all about upper body. Next time you do resistance work, do the lower body. Let your upper body rest for 36 or 48 hours. Then come back to that later in the week. All right? And as a perfect example, you may remember this. This is a good example of compound muscle activity. That's many of you here in this room. And music helps, of course, right? Okay. That's a lot to throw you. Any questions so far? Anybody? We talked about, again, forest bathing, probably a new term for all of us. Resistance versus aerobics. For those of you that do consistently exercise, this is the title I saw in the local AARP bulletin newspaper, okay? So you've heard this. The one workout that you must do. Has anybody seen this, the recent issue? Okay, you have, okay, good. Okay, so it's called HIIT, the high intensity interval training. Anybody do those regularly now? Okay, very good. On the treadmill, elliptical, what kind of?
Cycling.
Cycling, okay, all right. So basically, and to go through the basics of that, why is that important? This is where you're trying to improve the efficiency of your muscles. So, and I'll show you 3 examples of how you can do that. But you intersperse your baseline activity with bursts of high energy activity, okay? And the reason for that is inside your muscles are the cells, and inside the cells are little power plants that burn the calories, make energy for you. Those increase in efficiency and amount as you do these bursts of high intensity exercise, okay? So for instance, this is a busy slide, apologize. Okay, so just example, somebody's walking here for, say, a 10-minute walk. And for 3 minutes, you walk at your normal pace. And for 20 seconds, you increase the, say if you're on a treadmill, the incline and the speed. Then you go back down to baseline again. A couple minutes, you do the same thing. At a moderate or intermediate level, you can do that, say, running with baseline for 2 or 3 minutes, and then go a little faster for 4 minutes, then kick back down to baseline. And at a higher level, you can do, maybe you've seen people at the gym do this, but say 2 or 3 minutes on a treadmill, then for 30 seconds, they're doing this gut-busting as fast as they can go, 7 miles per hour almost. Then they kick back again for their baseline. And And that's what the HIIT, the high intensity interval training, is all about. Again, not for everybody. If you feel comfortable, this applies to walking, spinning or on the bicycle, swimming, and outdoor running or jogging. Okay? So here's your prescription. Everybody now can go out and exercise because the doctor said, here's your prescription. So everyone in the room, now you can go out and do that, okay? There's no excuse. New Year's resolution aside. Okay, so to sum up for today, because I want to get into our exercise program as well. So make it part of your daily life. Recommend you look at the executive summary, the 6 pages from your Move Your Way recommendations from the Health and Human Services guidelines. And again, it can take any form you want. Get outdoors when the foliage is beautiful, the birds are chirping, or if you're more like an indoor person during the winter, that's fine too. Take a class, maybe a home DVD exercise, whatever form it takes, just get out there and move. Again, if you are willing and want to take a little risk on that, try the new interval training program. If you have a routine you're doing right now and you're doing the same thing every day, every week, try something different. Try those little spurts of boosting up your activity if you can. Make a plan. People apparently stick to the plan if they write it down, if they make it fun, and they have a concrete plan of what they want to do, such as, I'm going to walk 150 minutes this week, or I'm going to walk for 3 miles tomorrow. And that way you have it written down and you hopefully can meet your goal. Use technology. We've discussed that in the past. If you have a Fitbit or a watch, or you have pre-measured distances, clock how long it takes you to do that, and then try to better your time next time you go out. All right? But most of all, make it fun. Again, a great place to go, Lake Galena, Peace Valley Park. How beautiful is that, right? Even in the wintertime.